All right, here are the answers for Thursday starters. So there is a proportional relationship between the number of oranges that Aaron squeezes, X, and the amount of juice in ounces that he makes, Y. So we've got our X column here and our Y column here. So we're looking for the constant of proportionality for the table. So it tells us that it is proportional. So we have to figure out what number am I multiplying my X by to get to my Y. If you don't know that, you would take your Y, divide it by your X, and that's going to give me 2. So that means 3 times 2 is 6. 4 times 2 is 8. 6 times 2 is 12. And 9 times 2 is 18. So our constant of proportionality in this table is 2. So when we're going to write our equation, it has to be in the form y equals k times x, where that k is our constant, or our unit rate. And in this one, the constant of proportionality is 2. So we're going to replace that k with the number 2 because that is our constant. So it's going to be y equals 2 times x. So whatever I have in my x column, if I multiply it by 2, I'll get what's in my y column. Okay, then we've got the percent proportion that we practiced with our notes. So we've got the percent proportion, and remember that you're writing a proportion. And the very first thing that we do is we're going to put in that 100 because that is representing our percent. Then we're searching in the problem for a percent sign. And in this problem, I have 70%. So that number 70 goes over the 100 because 70% is 70 over 100. The next thing I do is I look for the word of. That word of means out of. The out of means the whole thing. And in this problem, I have out of and there's like a blank. So that's the thing that I don't know. When I don't know what the whole is, I put an X, and that leaves me with my 63 as my part. So I know that 63 is 70% of some number, and now I just need to figure out what that number is. So I cross multiply. 63 times 100 is 6,300. And then x times 70 is 70x. Remember that those things have to be equal. So I've got 6,300, and that has to equal 70x. To figure out what that is, I have to divide by 70. And I'm doing that on both sides of my equation. So 6,300 divided by 70 is going to give me 90. And then 70 divided by 70 leaves me with just one x. So x is equal to 90. So 90 is my whole. So 70% of 90 is 63. We've got the same type of problem where we're setting up our proportion. We're going to put our 100 here. Then we're searching to see if we have a percent sign. Well, we do see a percent sign, but it does not have a number that's with it. So that tells us that that's what we're looking for. That's the unknown. That's my x. The next thing that I look for is the word of. That means out of $50. So that means my whole is $50. So I'm putting my 50 where the hole goes, and that leaves my $15 as my part. So we're looking for a percent in this problem. So 15 times 100 is 1500, and 50 times x is 50x. So then we've got the equation 1500 is equal to 50x. That means 50 times x, so to undo that problem, we divide both sides by 50. So we have 1500 divided by 50, and that is equal to 30. And then 50 divided by 50 leaves me with just one x. So that means my x is 30, so it is 30%. And then the last problem, I'm going to set up my proportion again. I put my 100 down on the bottom. I search for a percent sign and I don't see one. It says what percent, so that tells me I don't know what the percent is. There's no percent in that problem, so that's what I'm trying to find. Then I look for the word of, and that means out of. Out of $15 means that $15 is my whole thing and $9 is my part. I cross multiply. 9 times 100 is 900. 15 times x is 15x. So I'm looking for some number times 15 that's going to give me 900. To figure out what that is, I divide by 15. And 900 divided by 15 is equal to 60. And 15 divided by 15 leaves me with just one x. So x is 60, which means that 9 is 60% of $15.